come back. We're gonna start again. We have 6 more, then we're done.
Thank you.
Brought to you by MasterCard.
Brought to you by the LGBTQ. Okay. Why do you guys get irritated quickly?
Why do I get irritated quickly?
I saw this TikTok the other day where it was like, don't question me. Like, just don't question me. So I feel like I just hate being questioned, and that's what irritates me. So yeah.
I think I don't know how to explain it for me. Like I get irritated because I do. I don't have a proper answer for it. I think if I'm being truly honest, I think it's kind of rooted from a bit of my childhood.
Yeah.
Because of how I grew up. Yeah. Because I was told to never question the adults, and I'd always wonder like why, and eventually, I'd get really irritated by that. Like, why am I not getting all my answers? Why are you guys not answering me? Like, why are you not giving me my answers? And even when like in situations when the adults thought I was lying when I know I wasn't, and I'm being questioned for that, like, it just never made sense to me. I'd always get really irritated, and I guess I just kind of grew up with that irritation and just got worse as I got older. Whenever I'm questioned, like, for anything, I get irritated very quickly because I'm like what you said, why are you questioning me? Yeah.
Honestly, I think also like the thing is that I think as Aquarians we're also very observant of people's behaviors and how they are. And sometimes you see things you just actually don't like in people, to be quite honest. Like, I don't like people who act entitled, for example. And if they walk into a space and they act entitled and I happen to see that, I automatically don't like you. Like, you don't have to interact with me for me to know that you are acting entitled right now. And that shows what kind of person you are. So I think that's something to do with it. Also because I really also sometimes don't like people in my personal space. Yeah. Like, when it comes to like crowds and stuff, especially, and people are constantly bumping into you and stuff, I get very irritated very quickly. Or when people are very touchy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay.
Like when people pass by like in a club and they want to touch you, like, oh, excuse me, beautiful. Like, stop.
Throw hands.
Exactly. It's like it's I think it's also rooted in that idea of people not always respecting and understanding your boundaries, like, and just like in general, like, you don't need to know my boundaries, but you need to know that there are certain things you just can't do to a person in public. Like, why are you just touching me? Like, I don't know you. Obviously I'm gonna get irritated by that.
So I'm gonna add on to what Lazi said. I think when that growing up and asking questions or talking to adults and them not seeing your point of view, it's like, yes, I am younger than you, but that doesn't mean I'm wrong automatically. That doesn't mean what I'm saying isn't valid. So growing up, you just, like, I don't like that when there's a difference in understanding. Sometimes it's like, you just should respect each other's understanding and point of view, even if you don't agree with it. It's more of like a respecting of that understanding that you didn't get when you were younger, but now when you're older, you know yourself more, and you also want that because you also want to give that understanding to other people. So it annoys you when it's like, yo, I'm willing to like meet you halfway, but you giving me 10%, and then the rest of the 15% is shit. It's like,
Recently, I've kind of just learned people are just the way they are. And like, I also just respond very sarcastically just because I kind of have learned to detach from people's like irritating like habits, because I have people in my life who are very stuck on who they are and unwilling to grow out of that. So I think I've also kind of translated that into just my day-to-day interactions, that people are the way that they are. I'm not really going to entertain that energetically by kind of getting a rise out of me. So yeah, I think it's just people are, that's okay. You're going to question me, I'm going to give you a sarcastic answer.
You guys love being sarcastic.
Yeah.
You guys love that.
Honestly, you know, I feel like also one of the biggest reasons why I don't like people is actually because of the amount of bad experiences I've had, specifically with men.
Oh, babe, we can even stop the interview right there. No, seriously, like, so real.
And like it's also one of the reasons why also I got really good at judging someone's character really quickly, because oftentimes like a lot of men would come to me with an idea of who I am based off of how I dress or how I walk and stuff, and then are totally unimpressed with how I actually am. Because when someone actually talks to me, I have a lot of attitude. I'm very sarcastic. I will make references you may or may not get, whatever. And a lot of people don't actually
Get it.
Like they don't particularly respond well to it. It's just an idea of me that you gathered in your head about me. And I think that's also one of the reasons why I started to keep my guard up with a lot of kinds of people as well. Because it's just like, I don't want you to get attached to this idea of me rather than who I actually am as well.
That's real.
I just want to add, it also just comes with the feminine experience. Like people automatically associate femininity with being subdued or dainty or even just like submissive. So I really do like relate to that in the sense that, you know, I am going to hold my ground and not kind of like let you treat me how you want to treat me based off how you perceive me. And it's also just fun to like challenge people and surprise them and like have them kind of be speechless and be like, okay, and then
Like, oh my god, that's you?
yeah,
Bitch, it is.
You did, and what about it?
What about it?
And what about it?
Don't do me something.
Okay, actually, that's a great segue to ask. What is it with Aquarius and the God complex?
and
The God complex.
I love this question. You've come to understand who you are, and I think a lot of people tend to not necessarily know who they are, but have an idea of who they are based off how well they receive from people or how well they assimilate to certain like spaces. So I think like the God complex and not really like, I don't necessarily say it's a God complex, but it's also just like a not giving a fuck kind of energy. It's just like genuinely just understanding who you are and not really trying to measure up to what people expect of you and just being you. And if people are going to like kind of be intimidated by that and deem it a God complex, it's just I wouldn't say it's sad, it's just like get over it. I am who I am and I'm gonna live through that truth. And if you're not going to like accept that in me, that's okay. And that's me being a god.
The door's always open.
Come on.
I don't know.
I'm curious about your answer because I feel like with more masculine presenting people, it's even more heightened. Like it also kind of shows itself in like I'm just better, like in every way. Like me just existing, I'm like a tier higher from humanity. So this is just what it is. Like.
So what I've experienced is me knowing myself and the way that I carry myself in spaces and people, like, and having people around me. Like I do it in a confident way. It's not that I don't care. I care a lot, but I just am very picky with what I care about. And sometimes that might come off as, oh, he thinks he's up there, you know, and, you know, but no, it's like, I'm very approachable, I'm very open, it's just, I'm also very comfortable by myself and doing me, you know, and I don't see the need to explain that or question that, you know, because it's like, okay, I'm not, this God complex is not gonna stop me from interacting with you and treating you like a human being at the end of the day, you know.
I just have something to add. Being a Capricorn, right? It was spoken a lot in the Oscar Capricorn video, where it's like Capricorns. Well, I just have seen Capricorns have a tendency of just being able to grasp things quickly and like kind of just tend to like, you know, want to do things on their own because they feel like they are better equipped at executing that like thing. So I think it's also just a way of receiving or perceiving that way of action or that way of thinking. It's not necessarily that I think I'm better than you or that I think I can execute or do this better than you or that I'm just good at everything. It's just, I think it's more so like an insecurity in seeing that like I'm not going to like assert myself in your things, right? Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like because of that ability to just, not that it's an exclusive experience of being a Capricorn, a lot of people are able to do this, but just to grasp things quickly and execute things, quickly. It's not that I think I'm better than you, I just can. And if you think you can also do it, you will. And I think it's just also just like seeing yourself and having that confidence in yourself doesn't mean you have a God complex. It just means you're confident in your abilities and how you show up in the world, and that's okay.
Oh, I think with me, I've never really seen it as a God complex. I've just more or less seen it as just me living my most honest life, because my aunt always tells me this, that like in life you just need to live your most honest life, and if other people perceive it as me having a God complex, then honestly I think that's just on you. I'm sorry, like I'm just living my truth, because I think growing up the way that I did and having to hide certain aspects of myself and certain skills because I was afraid of how it would be perceived in my family and in the community that I was in, and now having the opportunity to do all the things that I wanted to do, my passions in fashion, art, all these other things, and it's like that's just me living my life, that's just me living my most honest and confident life. And if you see it as me being, this person who's better than you, then that's really on you, because I don't see myself as better than anyone. We're human and we're all different in our own unique ways. No one can ever be really better than the other person, because you have your own skills that are better than someone else's skills, and they have their own skills that they're better than yours. Yeah.
I'm also a really big believer in fake it till you make it, especially in terms of confidence. If you're gonna walk into a room, walk it like you own it at least. It's better than walking in being anxious and stuff. But if you're gonna make up all of these ideas of me in your head, you can just sit there with them in your own corner of the room.
That's on you.
Yeah, just don't make it my problem, because you will be humbled.
I think I just want to add on, as an Aquarius rising, I just feel like Aquarius placements are very comfortable in their own space, and they're very good at validating themselves. And I think a lot of people don't know how to validate themselves, so they see that low-key as a threat, and then they just put you in that thing of, oh, you think you're better, but it's just I'm chilling, I'm really just chilling. That's okay. Next question. Why are you guys so hard to read?
To what?
To read.
Am I hard to read?
No, not you, bestie. You're
that's why I had to ask that question. I don't
actually
think
no. Sometimes I think maybe when someone first meets you, or when you're in your head, it's because you guys have a blank thing, and it's sometimes really hard to penetrate that. But I think maybe it's more so with people that you aren't comfortable with exposing yourselves to yet. Well, I don't know.
That's kind of funny because now that I think of it, I've gotten a lot of comments about that, when people say that I was really scared of approaching you.
Yeah, and then you have that intimidation
you look like someone who's very intimidating, someone who, if I were to say hi, you'd bite my head off,
Type shit.
And I don't know, I think for me, the way I carry myself in a space, I enter a room and I'm just serious, because I think in most situations I don't want to invite certain energies into my space,
Yes.
So I enter a room. Well, I never think I look intimidating, but I guess in the back of my head that's what I'm doing, because I know that there are certain people here that I don't actually really want to interact with, because I don't know, I can just feel it in your energy that you aren't the best person for me. Maybe for someone else, but
Not
for
for
me
me.
and the way my life is at
Yes.
right now, you aren't the best person to be in my life right now. I think that's why I guess I'm just hard to read at first. At first.
I don't know, it's very hard for me to answer this question, because I personally don't think I'm very hard to read. I think it's more my logic for doing things is hard to understand. Because for me, I'm someone who's very transparent with their facial expressions. Like, if I don't like you, you're definitely going to tell by my face. But maybe the reason why I don't like you or anything like that, that may be a reason that I may be hard to read. But otherwise, I think I'm decent to read. Like, I think you can tell what I'm feeling based off of a glance, you know.
I wish I was like that.
Baby,
Like-
it's I love you as
My Libra placement doesn't allow
I love
me
that. I love that.
to facially, like, I don't know. I mean, Tenno did ask us once why are Libra so fake. So
Go watch that video. Go watch that video.
and you'll hear my answer there. You'll understand why I'm like this.
Yes, period.
So, I know I'm hard to read. I don't really think about it much because it's not that I'm trying to be. It's just I'm being myself, and sometimes that. I also don't think it should be easy for me to read. You know, a part of me learning about myself was reading my own book and the chapters in my life and understanding that. And I would also love someone to be interested enough to me to read me or try to read me even though I'm difficult. You know, it's like I could read Winnie the Pooh or I could read this philosophy book and I'm the philosophy book, bro. But it's gonna be difficult. But also it's worth it at the end of the day, you know.
I really love that because I also yearn for that kind of like ambition to like come to understand me and like, you know, really take the time to read my book and see me and understand me. And yeah, I really love that. And I also think that I might be hard to read like facially or like energetically, but I'm also quite a very open person. So if you ask me, I will answer you honestly. And I'm also not afraid of like kind of bringing things up and being like, hey, listen, I'm feeling this type of way. So maybe, yeah, if you want to read me from like, you know, arm's length, that's okay, but you're not going to get an accurate answer. But if you come to me and we just, you know, talk or you just ask me, and I'm going to give you a very honest answer. So yeah, I'm hard to read, but I'm going to honestly, you know, tell you how I'm feeling. If you want to speak about it, or if it bothers you, or if it's something like, do you like me? I'll tell you, maybe we're not made to be friends, but you know. And also like the whole like Libra thing of like being fake. I have this tendency of like also just I like to call it playing it cordial. Like despite not liking you or like whatever, I am going to still be cordial if we're in the same space. I'm not going to be standoffish. I'm not going to be like, you know, that sort of thing. Just because I feel like everyone that deserves to not feel attacked or, you know, that sort of thing. But I'm not necessarily going to pursue you platonically or try to be in your spaces if I don't like you. And I'm not saying that I'm being fake. I'm just not trying to hurt your feelings per se. But it's not because, I just don't, like, I'm not trying to protect everyone's feelings, but I'm just not going to be not a good person. And yeah, exactly.
It's not necessary.
Exactly. I think another thing I kind of want to add is I think it's hard to read someone that can't read themselves, you know.
Ooh.
Because we're ever changing people. We are constantly changing. We're constantly, you know, taking certain attributes and personalities, and we're constantly changing all the time.
Who, Aquarius or Libra?
Both.
Okay.
I think this kind of works with all zodiac signs, because like we're human, you know. Humans are always changing, you know, and it's hard to read a person like fully, like completely, like I've read you 100%. You can never do that with anyone because we're always changing. There's always, you know, something that's different, you know.
I also just want to add, I think it's also because sometimes the impression that you give off is very different to who you actually are, especially from a distance. So, like, for example, like if you walk into a room straight faced, you know, like no one will ever tell maybe that you're like this really like geeky person who loves DC and Marvel, for example. Yeah. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why so many people may find us hard to read or hard to understand, because sometimes the way we carry ourselves is very different from who we may actually be, like in terms of personality may actually be, especially like in my case, because in my case I'm very Like I love anime, I love talking about music, and I am surprisingly a very talkative person when I want to be. But it's not the same thing as when I walk into a room. Like some people have even said I look like I'm full of shit.
Crazy. That's crazy.
I think it goes back to like, I guess, the sort of idea of code switching, but like in terms of personalities, you know, like in certain spaces I'm not gonna act 100% like myself,
Of course
and
not.
you are not gonna fully read that. Okay, like if you see me in a room and I seem intimidating, I probably am trying to seem intimidating in that specific space. And in other spaces, I am a social butterfly. I'm jumping off the walls, you know. Like it really just depends,
On
you
who
know.
it is. Nah, that's real. Okay, third last question is, why are you guys so impulsive?
I'm even wearing an impulse buy.
Why do you impulsively make decisions also? Like, that shit is crazy. Because as stubborn as you are, you guys are quick to change.
I think for me, like my answer is very simple. For me, I just like things. I just like things. I just
Do it for the...
exactly. If you tell me, Chim, let's go to Durban. Okay, cool, let's go. Let's go now. Oh, you wanna take a trip down to the ocean? Let's go. I'm not gonna say no because I'm doing it for the plot.
Okay, the Virgo moon in me is also, it kind of controls the impulse a little bit, but the thing is that also like it's very easy to tell what you want, like in terms of instincts as well, which is why it's also very easy to make really, really quick decisions. And although it may seem impulsive, there's actually like some kind of reasoning behind it in a way as well. It's just that it's kind of like an instinctive thing where it's like, oh, I know I definitely want these gold pairs of earrings more than these silver pairs of earrings, for example. You know, like it's just one of those things where you just instinctively know.
Well, I like adventure and I like innovation and I like new. So if you're telling me let's go here and I'm like, okay, I haven't been there, I'm just like, that's new. Okay, I want to see what's up.
Yeah.
I just want to know, you know. Sometimes the only way to know is just by making that decision and going with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Doing it for the plot.
100% do it for the plot, but I also think so I will always do things impulsively. Like if somebody does tell me let's go to Durban, right, I'm going to say yes. But also the Capricorn in me is not questioning it to not do it, but also just making it realistic and saying, okay, this is how we're going to do it, you feel me? But I'm always going to, like, I love new things, I love innovation, I love to experience life. And life is not worth living if you're going to think about things very rationally and all the time. Follow your instincts, live boldly, live like without too much thought. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, it's just the plot. I am going to sit back in my old age and laugh about life and not really think of I should have done that. I shouldn't have talked myself out of it, you know. It's always about trying to like look at life through the bigger perspective and sitting back and saying I lived, you know. You don't want to say you lived but had kept yourself in a box and isolated. You have to live life. Yeah.
That's real.
I think especially with me, because I'm also a Libra and I have that people pleaser part in me. Like I never want to say no to someone, you know. And unfortunately, I do find myself in weird situations because of that. Because I'm like, okay, let's go to Durban, and I find myself in Durban, and I'm like,
What the fuck?
what the fuck am I doing here? Like, why am I here? How am I getting back? What's going on? What am I gonna eat? I'm broke.
And I did this for you. Like, whoa.
Sure. So, yeah.
But it was a good story after all. Anyways.
Exactly. It makes for a great story for my grandchildren.
Babe. So you made it back home. You made it back home.
Okay, last two questions. These are chill. What is your love language? How do you want to be loved? And how do you guys show love?
My love language is all of them.
Yeah, she did say this.
Yeah, I said this with the other video. my love language is all of them. I don't think it changes because of my placements, unfortunately. You know, like I guess with like being like part Aquarius, and the Aquarius in me always wanting space, but like when I'm in, like specifically in a romantic relationship, like when I'm in a romantic relationship, I always want to be there with you. If you're going to pee, I'm coming with you.
So quality time.
Exactly. You know, like I always, like I want all of them, you know. Yeah, I think for me, like it's not hard to love me. It is quite easy. It's the staying with me that's the problem, because I self-sabotage a lot.
Should we get into that? Okay,
No.
wait, let's finish with everybody. Let's finish with everybody, and then we'll get into that. Because that's actually such a huge Aquarius thing, the self-sabotage.
What did I do?
What did you?
I just opened a can of worms.
Honestly, I'm a little bit like Lazi, where it's just like a little bit of everything as well. Just in the sense, I really like spending time with my partner. I like getting them gifts. I send them letters. You know, yeah. And in terms of receiving love, honestly, I prefer words of affirmation and quality time more than anything else. It doesn't necessarily have to be gifts or anything else, because for me, action speaks louder than words. And if you actually put in the time, for example, where I'm feeling down, to write me a nice paragraph because I'm feeling down, like I'm like,
Aww,
that's
love me.
or you know, or you spend some extra time with me because I'm feeling sad, and you may know that I want that kind of comfort right now. Because I think that's the biggest thing for me in terms of
So quality time and words of affirmation. Okay.
Okay, so before all the love languages, I consider myself a romantic first. So in that sense, like whatever I feel like is the best way to love you at that point in time, that's what I'm going to give you. If that is quality time, I'll give you that. If that's words of affirmation, physical touch, that's what I will feel like giving to you. You know, I feed off the other person and like my own romantic nature.
So it changes depending on who you're with?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the main foundation is like obviously quality time, you know, physical touch, words of affirmation, and also eye contact, bro. Like I think eye contact's a love language.
Really?
Yes.
But I feel like, really, if it's like too much eye contact can be scary and like
no.
low-key intimidating. Cause why? Like it's been 5
I want to
minutes.
see
Why are you
into your
still
soul.
looking at me?
I want to see into your soul.
The eyes are the window to the soul.
My friendships also. I like looking at my friends. Like when you talk to me, I look at you.
Okay.
do it also to make sure you know I'm listening to you and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, valid.
It's a combination of everyone's answers. How I give and receive love is through holding space for one another mentally, like just having that thought and regard for another person. So like, let's say you are shopping and you're like, you know what, I think Sai would really love that, and it makes me think of them, and like, you know, giving that to me. Yes, it may be gift giving, but it's not the gift, it's the thought of me. Or it's like, you know, just the quality time and being like, you know, I may be going shopping, but I know Sai loves to just do mundane things, so let's go and do that together. So it's just the exchange of all the love languages, but most importantly, just holding that thought of me in your head. And I do the same with other people. So like, I also just love to like give gifts or make gifts, or like, just because I know that is something that makes people feel seen or heard, because I put thought behind what I'm doing for you. It's just the intention behind it. And like, obviously there's that respect of boundaries. Like if you're not of a person who wants to be touched, then that's okay, but I am going to spend time with you because I do like to be in your space. So yeah, it's just holding that thought, and it's an exchange of all those love languages in one. And just be love and you'll receive love. So yeah.
Beautiful.
I actually have something to add. I feel like also because like for some people, Aquarians may see us as hard to read, or even some Aquarians may feel hard to read. I feel like if your partner knows you really, really well, and they show that through actions or through words or gifts or whatever, it really speaks a lot to you, because it's like, oh my God, you're the first person who put so much time into being able to understand who I am, and you're able to show this love through things that I like as well, not just things that, yeah.
I think it also goes back to just being an Aquarius and feeling that isolation or feeling like you're different. And that person just really taking that time to see you and understand you really makes a person feel like they're not that hard to love, they're not that hard to understand, they're not that difficult to deal with. You just need to love that person enough to do it and and execute it and
Loving that person enough.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, second last question.
Oh God.
What are your pet peeves in yourself, in people, and in situations?
That's a long list.
Yeah.
That is a long list.
But I've got a few. Okay, I don't. For me personally, like my pet peeves with myself is the self-sabotage, like doing things because I've intellectualized something enough to make an action around it, and then kind of coming back and being like, I didn't really want to do that out of the like love for myself. I did that out of protection of myself. So yeah, that's one of my biggest pet peeves with myself, but we're growing out of it. And then I think pet peeves with other people is taking things too personally or executing things too sensitively. I just I don't like how people take everything so seriously. Like I will make a joke and like some people tend to like really like internalize it. Obviously it's not a joke of like pointing out at somebody's like insecurity or whatever, but it's just a joke of like, let's say, like the in the Capricorn video you're talking about, I don't like that artist, and like just genuinely like it just have something to say about the artist. It's not a personal attack upon you, it's just my perspective. So I think people just internalizing everything too deeply. I don't like it. It's a buzzkill. Also just like small things like, let's say you accidentally break something, and I also do recognize that it is like a childhood like trauma trigger where somebody like breaks something, and because of the response from the adults they like feel like they have to personally feel very bad about doing that specific thing. But I also feel like mistakes happen. You don't have to beat yourself up so much, and it kind of does irk me a little bit when people have to like mull over something over and over again because it's a mistake. But yeah.
Personally, for myself, I don't really have pet peeves. Even with other people, even like, okay, so I'm indecisive sometimes. Like, say I'm going to a store and there's like options in front of me, and I'm like, what the fuck do I want? That's like something that annoys me, but I low-key like it because if I'm with someone who's also indecisive, it's like the fun of like, damn, bro, what are we doing here? I don't know. I just like, if I find something like annoying or it's a pet peeve, I also like the other side of it.
Yeah.
In a sense,
I know
This is your career side now.
Yeah.
I know yours is long.
It's very long, but I'll just pick like two of them.
Not true.
I think for me, not respecting my boundaries, that's a huge pet peeve, and not respecting my space and the things in my space, because when you like borrow people things and it comes back and it's in like such a horrible condition, and you're like, I would never do that to you, but why would you do that to me? Like it makes it so hard for me to trust other people with my things now and to trust them with me also, because like a lot of the things that I have are low-key an extension of myself. So if you can't respect the things I have in my space, then you can't respect me, which means you can't respect my boundaries also, Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So
boundaries and
and
just
respect.
Just respect me, basically.
You better respect me.
RESPECT.
Okay, Aretha Franklin.
R.I.P. R.I.P. to her.
Mama.
I think in terms of pet peeves for myself, sometimes I have a tendency to avoid problems because they're just too big to handle right now. Even now, I'm avoiding some problems, and I'm like, do I want to deal with you right now, though?
You got me there.
Or even like this thing of where like I'll keep a lot of my emotions within me until like a few months, and then if it's like at a specific person where I have issues with, I'll just explode on them in like 6 months or something. and it will just completely catch them off guard as well. So it's just like I feel really bad for that person because it's just like I'm busy crying or getting angry at you, and it's like they don't even understand why they like to the degree to which I'm angry as well.
Exactly.
So that is something I am attempting to fix right now. But partners are also.
So that's your pet peeve for yourself.
Yeah.
And then in other people,
In terms of other people, honestly, I don't like people who are very presumptuous.
yes.
Or people who are willfully ignorant, like especially in terms of issues that concern people's lives, and you're willfully ignoring the issue because you don't actually want to form an opinion. I don't really like people like that because also it's just like, how are you going to really ignore those kinds of issues? Like in that case, I'd rather you just say you don't support anything then. Like that'd be easier to handle than you saying you're just ignoring everything. Or also people who don't sometimes match the energy of the room as well.
Yeah.
I don't particularly like that either because it's just like if everyone's like upbeat and stuff and you're not, it's like
You're ruining the vibe.
like
get
I
outta here.
understand, but then in that case, take a breather outside and come back upbeat. You know? Yeah.
Exactly, because like people, we're all understanding people, you know, like we understand that there are certain things that are going on in your life, and you might not be in the happiest mood that that you're usually in, and we get that, but like that doesn't mean you need to rain on our parade also.
Yeah.
You know.
For example, when you go out with a friend who's just had a heartbreak, like, and they choose to like constantly like bring it up or like, you know, really like mull over it and like really be sad in a room where everyone's just trying to like, you know, move on with life and just get it on. Like, I get it, we can have conversations and help you move through that. But if we're saying, okay, we're going out, right? And then you say, okay, I'm also gonna come out with you guys. And then you're just in the corner there, like constantly like looking at your phone. And it's like, oh, he didn't text me, or like, you know, and you're really kind of like I can't deal with them. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Aquarius rising. I hate when people are like too much of anything all the time. Like if you're always like you're talking all the time and we can't have a moment of silence. Like we can't just sit in silence for a bit, you know? Or like you're always sad. Like we can't even listen to whoever and be happy about it. Like you know, I hate that. Oh, I hate it so much.
I think those are my other pet peeves. Like people who get too comfortable in their own depression and in their own sadness.
People who love being sad.
Like
God.
it never makes sense to me, because I mean I understand that we all go through things, you know, and like in most situations it takes time for you to get over that, but like that doesn't mean you need to get comfortable in that situation because
expect us to also cater to it all the time.
exactly. And also with the people who always talk a lot, like, babes, give me space to speak. Also, like, why are you always speaking over me? Like, and I think that's another reason why I developed this, like in my childhood, I developed this thing of speak when spoken to, you know, because like whenever I try to say something, I get hushed or someone will speak over me because like, I was still talking. But I'm like, okay, I wanted to add something to the conversation, but like, you're just not giving anybody any space to say anything.
And now about you.
Exactly, now the conversation is over, or like, I've forgotten because I have a very short-term memory. So like, now I don't even know what to say anymore.
Also, I hate people who take more than they give back. Yeah. Hate it. Okay, now let's go back to that thingy. Why do you...
You know, like going back to the people who are always sad, like I used to be like that, but I think one thing that I've come to learn and understand is life is really beautiful and life is really good. You just have to choose to live that life and choose to intentionally bring yourself out of it. Being too comfortable with sadness is you trying to live comfortably because you're too afraid of what comes after that or outside of that. You can't live like that. You will only bring yourself deeper. Just, remember life is beautiful and life is good. You just have to choose it.
I love that. Now let's circle back. Why do Aquarius love self-sabotage? and it's usually unintentional, but it's still there. I'll go first.
Thank you so
As an Aquarius rising, I self-sabotage because I be so scared of going all the way with people sometimes, and it's more so like the fear of getting it and then losing it, and that feeling of lack, I guess. Because as much as people do come and they go, but if I decided that I love you and I want you to be my friend, like if I love Luzzie so much and I want Luzzie and I to be friends forever, if I lose Luzzie, it's gonna crush me. So it's better for me to just sabotage it on my terms than for Luzzie to be like, I actually don't like you, Teno. Let's just not be friends anymore. Like that, it is what it is.
Yeah, I have to agree, and I think back in my day, I was a huge believer in the idea of how can I put this that it doesn't sound depressing. I was a huge believer in that there's certain good things I just didn't deserve because of where I was in my life at the time, like, and my emotional state at the time. Like, I just believe that, like, there are certain things I just don't deserve. Like, I don't deserve to have a healthy, good platonic relationship with someone. I don't deserve to have an amazing, healthy, romantic relationship with anyone. Like, I never believed I deserved that, you know. And I'd always sabotage myself into thinking, like, this is too good.
To reaffirm that you actually don't
exactly
deserve
like this.
it.
What's going on here? It's way too good to be true. So I am
so
going
deep.
to end it now because
Damn.
I am not the person. I'm not the happily ever after person. You know, like I never get my own happily ever after. You know, like I always believed in that, and yeah, I just always sabotaged my friendships, my relationship with my family, my relationships, like my romantic relationships also because of that. Like I just didn't believe in a happily ever after for myself. Thank God now I do because
You deserve it, babe.
we all deserve it.
I think I've spoken about this before, but like when I first started to put in effort into my relationships, even like with my best friends and stuff, it really freaked me out how much I actually care about other people and what they think and stuff like that. And I was just like, I don't know if I want this anymore. So I'd rather just like you said, end it on my own terms before I get hurt or something. Because especially when I was first trying out my relationship, it just really freaked me out that I fell in love with someone first as well. And I was like, I don't know if this is gonna end up the way I wanted to, or you're just gonna end up leaving me because deep down I'm not that likable or something like that, you know. So I was like, let me just leave.
It's that fear of
Abandonment also.
It's abandonment and the fear of people not reciprocating the love that you give to them. Yeah.
Okay, so at that point in time when I was more into self-sabotaging, it was like, so I'm used to not getting that thing that I want, or I'm used to not getting that happiness or that love or that reciprocation. So when something is going well enough to the point of like, shit, I'm getting there, it's like, whoa, something feels off.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not used to this pattern, so I'm gonna correct in a way that makes the pattern that, you know, so that I'm used to it. Okay, this is normal. I'm back to a normal state. Yes, it's shit, but okay, I'm used to it. I understand this, you know.
It's like rather the devil you know than the devil you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much everyone took the words out of my mouth. I also just want to add, it's probably like the intellectualization of things. Like instead of rather feeling it and like experiencing things, it goes back to like feeling like I don't deserve it. So let me like especially when like I think this is what triggers it a lot is like when somebody does something that feels off to me, or like their energy kind of switches, or like they just do something that's out of the norm, then my brain just jumps to like the worst possible outcome of it.
Yes, and
So
there's
then-
no communication.
Yeah. So then my brain kind of like just says, okay, clearly this is not meant for me. It's just but I'm really learning to communicate. We're growing out of being okay with not deserving a happy ending. I know I do. We all do. We deserve people in our lives who love us and care for us in every aspect of the word. And it's okay to let yourself experience that, because everything that is new or outside of your comfort will feel uncomfortable. So rather go through that uncomfort and learn to understand that you can and do deserve those things, rather than sit there and say, I'm not going to let myself experience that because I know it's going to end up like in a bad way. Don't assume.
Assume, guys. Aquarius be assumed.
Yeah. Divine
Trust me.
process.
Oh, guys, thank you so much for being so honest in this video. This was like so crazy how it happened, but I'm so glad you guys joined the video. Do you guys have socials that you want people to follow you?
Yeah, illegitimate oxide.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is their profile.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Do you wanna?
S4.YII. No, it's II. Sorry, it's II. Yeah. It's there.
3, 2, 1. Miss Lazzy,
I mean,
again.
everybody knows me.
I don't even worry. I'll push your shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
I'm okay. It's okay.
Okay, don't follow them. That's it. But follow me and this page. Last video is gonna be next month for Oscar Pisces, and then we'll be done with this series. I'm so glad because I love interviewing people, but goddamn,
Goddamn.
like my bank account, like how much I spend on you guys. And anyway, I love you guys so much, and see you next time. Mwah.